The average American home size has grown by 150% in the past 40 years. With home prices so high and houses so large, why is our government making affordable tiny homes illegal? Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Tanaka, a member of the Palo Alto City Council. Today, I want to talk about a misconception about California's housing crisis, as well as utilizing tiny homes as a solution. I hear a lot of talk about housing crisis, and it's kind of a complex question because people are talking about it mainly because it's expensive. Housing is very expensive, and some places it's really hard to get. But if you look at the prices of houses have been getting more expensive, but so has the inflation rate. If you adjust the cost of housing by the inflation rate, it's not quite as high as it seems. The second thing is that houses from 20 years ago or 30 years ago are not equivalent to the houses of today. Houses 30 years ago didn't have, HDMI strung through the walls. They didn't have, Ethernet cables. They didn't have double pane windows. They didn't have super fancy insulation. So the houses are actually much fancier today. They have granite counters. They have pull-out faucets. They actually have a lot more things than houses in the past didn't have. So they're more luxurious than houses in the past. But the other thing is that they're growing. The average family is actually getting smaller over time, but the average house size is actually getting larger. It's growing with each decade. You have one thing where the house is getting bigger and the family size is getting smaller. So amount of square footage per person is actually going up a lot. Yeah, the house is more expensive, but it's also because you're getting a lot more house and because the house is fancier, right? You have a house with granite counters versus a house with linoleum counters, right? Or laminate counters. The third thing that makes things really expensive is that a lot of the zoning laws prohibit more units because the real cost of housing is really the land. And so using the land efficiently is important. The housing crisis is complex just because it's not just, they're just simply getting more expensive. They're getting more expensive for the fact that they're getting bigger, they're more luxurious, and also because the zoning is making it restrictive. So in light of the fact that the houses are getting bigger and the families are getting smaller, what if you reverse that? I think the houses would become more affordable, right? Because you could put more homes for the same land area. I think in terms of looking at affordability, this is probably one of the best ways to actually increase affordability because smaller units are inherently more affordable because you need less land per unit and there's less building materials per unit. And so they're inherently more affordable. I think that's something that we should look at in terms of making housing more affordable. And besides making the units smaller, you can also make more shared living arrangements where people share a kitchen or share a bathroom or share a living room, because rarely are all those spaces used at once. You think about like a house, right? How much of it is actually being utilized? Relatively little is being utilized at any given time. It's usually like just a few rooms. And so if you shared space, you can actually build more of a sense of community. It also makes it a heck of a lot more affordable, right? Because bathrooms are expensive, kitchens are expensive, but bedrooms are not that expensive. One reason why there isn't as much smaller homes or tiny homes available is because I think there's an aversion to smaller units. I think a lot of consumers expect bigger, right? They think bigger is better, but bigger is more expensive. So I think that's one of the big issues is just consumers, right? They're kind of geared for the supersized, right? Supersized hamburger, supersized drink, supersized house, right? I think that especially things like parking, there should be more flexibility there. I think there should be more flexibility on density in terms of how many units can you have. If you really want to have affordability, I think that there's a expectation issue, right? In terms of, do we need to have a certain size house to be happy, right? And I think simply that's just not true. Do you think tiny homes are a good solution to our housing crisis? If you have a better suggestion, or if we got something wrong, let us know in the comments below. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like what you see, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that bell to stay up to date with our channel.